Hello, my darlings. My name is Rabbit, and thank you so very much for joining me for episode number 34 of Let's Play Eternal Eyes on the PlayStation 1. In our previous episode, as usual, we are just continuing to climb the Hall of Dolls. I complained about it in episode number 32, and I complained about it in episode 33, that there haven't been a lot of foes awaiting us on these floors, so we really hashed out a lot of things in the previous episode. We ended up combining 2 floors, actually. Not that that's that new. We've done that in the past, but oh my gosh, I feel like we just hacked and slashed and kicked down doors, and it was nothing for Luke and crew. So hopefully the 5th floor is going to pose a little bit more of a challenge. If it doesn't, that's okay. Perhaps the 6th floor will be the victory floor, where we'll actually really have to work for that W. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and dive in. We threw the 1 jewel that we picked up at somebody, and they learned Wave. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Harash. All right. We've got at least some new puppets to look at, and oh my goodness, I am so triggered as I'm having flashbacks of Abilash right now. Do you guys see that paper thin color swap? Oh my goodness. So ugly. So gross. This one's name is Usui, and he knows Shaker, Gustoma, and Flashbolt. Nothing notable. We saw the previous monster, what was it called? It was some sort of hound dog, I think, was the name of it. And it knew Shaker. So even if that was the first time we had run across that name, it's no longer new. So get a life, Usui. You're not an innovator around here. Okay, well, we've got 6 that we'll be taking on. So, it's better than the 5 that we met with on the previous floor. But all right, 2 is here. This is Shadow Move. I have to be honest and say I quite like the design, not only the portrait, but the actual sprite model. It's very well done. I like the animation that it seems like I don't know, it's kind of like it's going back and forth between being corporeal and ethereal. Very cool effect there. Shaker, Gustoma, and Nebula. That's what he's got as well. So nice to meet you, Shadow Move. I wouldn't be opposed to having one of those puppets. It looks quite interesting. I wonder if it's one of the directions the ghost Pokemon can go in. I don't know. But no time to worry too much about it. We've got to throw our team forward. And I don't think we're really going to be in the position to hit anyone, or at least with anything meaningful. We'll see what we can get by throwing out some spells. But there's no way. There is no way Olivier is going to reach anyone, so I'm not even going to waste my time. Harash now is a bit of a bully and just skates across the map, so no problem for him to get over here. What do I want to do to you, though, sir? That's the question on my mind. Oh my god, Harash, you've got no skills. But I guess he's a physical DPSer, so I shouldn't be upset that his little spell book is a bit lacking. But, 31 damage is still 31 damage. Now, as for me, darlings, I was sharing with you guys more of the intricacies of my car history, and that it's a really weird situation to be in to suddenly have to buy a car. I think one of the other things that's been making it somewhat sad and disheartening for me is that this is a process I would have really liked to have my father here for. He was just so knowledgeable of cars, and one of those engineering mindsets. And he had one of those engineering mindsets and was just a very mechanical person and technologically savvy person. It's a lot of words that I'm throwing out there right now. But he was just so good when it came to understanding the inner workings of different types of hardware and different types of technology and mechanics. I don't know. This is just one of those things that I would have greatly valued, having his input. And even if he couldn't be there with me to look at cars, just knowing, Consumer Report says that these are the top 3 subcompact SUVs. Like, out of these 3, what are your thoughts on all of them? And he would genuinely have an opinion on every single vehicle you could mention to him. It was one of the things that I really did like about him. He was so simple, he was so humble, but such a brilliant person. Oh, I miss my dad so much, you guys. It just really sucks. I know, not to go down that path, because I'm sure some of you are like, oh my god, Rabbit, it's been over a year are you feeling any better at all? And the answer is no, but I don't want to be a Debbie Downer forever. But just, oh my gosh, the whole process of shopping for a car has been exciting, but at the same time, it just feels almost like, you feel that loss of a special person when you do things that you know they would have enjoyed being a part of, and when you're making memories without them that you know they would have loved to have also been a part of, you know? So with all of that being said, and again, like I said, not to dwell on the sad, but to look forward as positively as possible towards the future. I don't know why I keep gravitating towards the pink on her, because she doesn't have a whole lot going on there. So I need to get my shit together. And I really don't think, I can only hit 3. Oh, yep, I can only hit 3. That'll be the max capacity for me here, which is fine. You know what? We're getting something off. So as for the vehicles that I've already kind of picked out in my mind, only one of them I think I would buy brand new, and that would be the Ford EcoSport. So Andrew and I went and kind of shopped around. For the first day that we were looking at some cars, I just was wanting some appointments where I could talk to salespeople about the vehicles that they had on the lot, look at their new versus their used products, and just sit in the vehicles and get a feel for them before I worried about scheduling test drives. And because I'm gonna have to take either an extended lunch for some of my work obligations, if I can use the correct preposition here. English, I promise, I do speak it fluently sometimes. I don't want to try to cram everything into one day that I have off and then feel pressured. So I'd rather split everything up so that it is palatable for me and I can take all the time that I need to truly assess, do I like the way this vehicle feels? Do I like the way it looks? Is this something that I'm going to be happy with for another 10 to 15 years? Because I'm telling you guys, especially if I shop new, this car is going with me to the grave, or it's going to be around for a while. I am not planning on upgrading or trading it in or doing anything with it. So unless I fucking destroy it or it gets destroyed in a car accident or something else goes down, whatever I'm buying next, it's going to see the same fate as my current Ford Escape, where I'm driving it until it just genuinely can't start anymore, or it's just not a practical vehicle to have anymore. So that's kind of where I'm at with my headspace. So I'm wanting to be very cautious with how I proceed, and I'm not one of those people that I don't mind salespeople. They really don't affect me. I have some friends that they get really anxious, and I've gone with actually a few girlfriends throughout my life when they looked at cars for the first time, because they just felt like, oh, salespeople, they're just such sharks, and I don't want to commit to something that I don't really want. And I don't understand that personally, because I have no problem telling someone, hey, you're being a douchebag, can you back off, or I'll let you know if I fucking need something. And maybe that makes me an asshole. I think I'm incredibly polite, and I go out of my way to humor salespeople, like whether you're shopping for clothes or, shopping for a new phone, anything like that. I don't mind a person approaching me and, doing their pitch and letting me know what's on sale and what they would recommend. Like, that's all fine and dandy. You do you. I will listen. I understand it's your job, and I get it. I'm here to get my item, and you're here to make sure that I get what I want, and also, I guess, secure your commission. I'm with you, brother. I fully understand where you're coming from. Ooh, fighting spirit. I don't know, though. That's probably going to be an offensive consumable, but we'll see very shortly. And yet again, we just blasted on through this fight, so I guess we're going to tack on an additional battle to this episode, much like we did in video number 33. Ooh, and a medal. So we'll check out everything for a minute or two and then just go straight on into what lies ahead. So anyway, point being, I don't mind salespeople. They don't make me uncomfortable. If I feel someone's being pushy, I'll let them know. I'm not one of those people that complains for the sake of complaining, but I will write letters of complaints if I think someone is going too far. But I also will let them know in real time, like, get out of here. I'm not trying to deal with any of your bullshit. But I will get to that in a second. The first place we went actually was pretty bad, and I did send an email, not a letter, to their sales team through their inquiry email and their inquiry line, and I let them know that the salesperson we worked with was a total piece of shit, but I will tell you guys that story here in just a second. I'm not seeing the other thing that I picked up Hold on. I probably need to just start by coming to the items list because just hopping in and out of these other menus, and oftentimes I'm not on the money with finding what is what and where it should be. So we got the medal. Description saying that it is an impressive medal, so impressive that the enemy missed their attacks. So we did see that this brings up the AV stat. I don't think it's going to be good on anyone. I'm going to check it out on LaFern here in a moment, but I wanted to just hop over here for a second. We also got something that I'm assuming, yep, here it is, Fighting Spirit, just as I thought, an upgraded version of Seed of Morale. Barely anything would make you give up. I'm not sure what stat this would increase though. And then Stardust, an upgraded version of Star Fragment. Meteorites obliterate the enemy from a distance, so not bad. We can test some of these out in battle eventually. I don't know, did you guys see the statue of evil, I think it's Evil Demon, an upgraded version of wretched looking statue? Touch this and touch the rage of an evil demon. I'm not sure if I use this with you guys on camera, so I'll have to make a note to try tapping into some of these offensive consumables live, but we'll worry about that here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and throw some jewels at folks. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up because I think I've been doing a disservice and giving some of the wrong stat boosts to the wrong people. Not that it matters at the end of the day, but just to switch it up. And there we go. Attack power up for Haresh. That is glorious. No complaints from me about that. No yellow. I guess we didn't pick up a whole lot, did we? Oh, okay. Either learns magic or increases status. I'm happy with either option. Oh, so luck did go up. That's fine. I think some people might rather the spells, but again, I think for Olivier and for Haresh, their magic, it just doesn't bear the same impact that their physical damage does. So I'm fine with that. I don't think that's a horrible way for that jewel to have been consumed and the direction for it to go in. So let's just head into the 6th floor. I mean, again, we could go ahead and make these videos shorter and split it up and have a floor per episode, but 12 minutes is really short, you guys. Granted, maybe 25 minutes is too long, but oh goodness. We're seeing some old faces, but with new colors. Yet again, though, only 6 enemies, or at least that's what I saw quickly scanning. But I don't think we've seen this room, or if we have, it's looking like it's seen better days. All right, who are you? You are Big Head, so the upgraded version of, what was that thing called? I don't even remember. It might have just been called Head? I don't think so. I think Head was what turned into Pumpkin Head, which is what no, it was what, wasn't what Obby was, I think, for the longest time. Let's see what you've got. Flashbolt and Tempera, nothing new, so fuck off. And you, sir, you guys may or may not have seen this model. I believe I ran into it. No, I think we did see this together. It was either in the Lost Forest or maybe I saw it at the Goondocks. But this version is called Medusa Ball, either way, and it's got Nebulator. I think that's an upgraded version and new. I don't believe we've seen this one before. Causes a huge curtain of darkness, a large amount of damage results, and then Elysian is a tried and true that we've used on our team fairly extensively. All right, that should be it. And as for enemy count, that's 2, 4, and 6, like I thought. I'm really disappointed in this. I'm not sure why so few opponents have been thrown at us. It's also possible that I'm so overleveled that the challenge just isn't there, and maybe that's why there's not an excessive number of enemies, just because for most people, if you're in the late 40s or early 50s, it would be difficult already to overcome the obstacles thrown at you with this number of foes. But as it stands for me right now, that's not the case. So I don't know. It could just be a matter that I'm overleveled, which is always possible, and I'm the first person to admit that could be the case. All right, let's try to take out a few of you. And by take out, I just mean deal some damage. There's no way this is going to destroy anyone, but at least we're attacking 3 people, which is always nice. That AoE, I'm all about it. Not as impactful, I feel like, as some of this solo target stuff we've been able to do, but chip damage is chip damage, as I always say. But now, back to what I was sharing with you as Luke finishes up our set of turns here. This should kill this guy. If he, oh yeah, 12 HP, there's no way he's walking away from this or floating away. If you want to use that verb instead. So the first place Andrew and I ended up going to look at some vehicles, I won't even get into the details of the vehicles that we wanted to check out. All that really matters is our sales guy was such a piece of shit. He was such an asshole, and I'm not sure if maybe he normally doesn't do sales, and maybe he's one of those people that tends to do like the detailing or is more responsible for the mechanical part of everything. So the detailing, when I say that, I'm referring more to when you're taking in a used car and trading it in for something else. The detailers, I think, this is my understanding, are the ones that thoroughly clean. Maybe they work on some of like the custom upgrades or the custom things. But I think then the mechanics are the ones that actually do the mechanical repairs and things of that nature. So that's my understanding of a detailer versus a mechanic. But I'm sure there are some places where maybe someone who's a detailer also has mechanical knowledge and would be responsible for, oh no, hold on. This sack of shit is going to try to take that chest, and I don't think so. Not today, Satan. You better get behind me. That green pea jewel belongs to me, not you. So with that being said, I really do try my best, in spite of what some people might argue. Not that I'm a combative person, so I'm partially joking as I lead up to this, but I really am the type of person that I try not to be judgmental, and I try to give people the benefit of doubt and understand that someone could have a bad day, and normally they're not an asshole. It just so happens that you catch them on an asshole day. We've all been there. I'm the first one to admit that I've had days where I am just in such a shitty mood and someone does something that pisses me off, and I'm pretty composed, and I would say I do a fairly good job of being very intentional with the things that I say and the things that I do. So it's not often that I've flown off the handle. I'd say throughout my 29 years, going on 30 years of life, I could probably count on one hand. I'm pretty sure I could count on one hand the number of times I've just genuinely snapped and told someone off. Usually, even when I'm advocating for myself or advocating for someone else, I'm not aggressive about it. I'll hold my own, and I'm very honest and I'm very direct, but I don't just go out of my way to be an asshole, and I don't go out of my way to be rude. And oftentimes, if I say something that I even suspect could have come across as disrespectful, I'm the first person. Andrew will tell you this is actually one of my biggest flaws, is I probably apologize too much to people, even if what I'm saying is just and it makes sense and it was deserved. I still don't like offending people, and I don't like hurting people's feelings. And I've always been of the mentality that I want my actions, my words, my entire being, everything that I do and people's thoughts on me, I want it to be based on the true reflection of who I am, not a reflection of my circumstances or someone else's attitude that day, if that makes any sense. So I don't like other people's shittiness to control how I feel, and you can't get around it. Like, sometimes there's going to be someone who's just so nasty, so rude, so fucking evil that they're going to ruin your day, and that's just life, you know? That's partially why I'm an introvert and would rather not deal with anybody, but it is what it is. So with that being said, I say all that to preface this story because I want it to be clear that I acknowledge maybe this guy, we'll call him Brad. Maybe he was having a bad day. Maybe he isn't normally on the sales floor, but he had been cross-trained and they were short, and all we really had scheduled or were scheduled to do was just look at a car. We weren't scheduled for a test drive. I don't know, because Andrew actually scheduled the appointment. I'm not sure if he even mentioned that I wanted to see multiple things and that I wanted to walk around, or if he made it sound like we wanted to see one car. I don't have all of these details, not that they matter that much. Ooh, we got a nunchuck. I don't think that's new. I'm pretty sure I've seen that in a shop before. But we will check it out and confirm either way whether the description sounds new or not here in just a second. So we get there, and this Brad guy didn't even greet me or shake my hand. He didn't make eye contact with me. He looked only at Andrew and said hi to Andrew. I mean, again, it was still very curt, and I thought very unfriendly. Like, I never would put this guy on the sales floor. And I wouldn't call myself a sales-minded person. I'm not a manager. So, you know, I guess I'm not the person who would look at someone and see all of their potential and be like, yes, this person is going to be very successful as a car salesman. That's not my forte. I'm a teacher and I'm a researcher, so totally different world. But hold on one sec. We got to read the description of the nunchucks here. Made of hard wood. Be careful not to hit your head with them. Okay, game. Thanks for that. Let's see if this would be better on either Olivier or on our boy Haresh. I don't think I'm going to want to be switching out. Yeah, y'all, I like the boost to attack power, but I'm not loving the drop to literally everything else. So unless it's... All right, so hit rate does go down, but that would be in exchange for that's not a lot of attack power, and the speed is not worth it to me either. So next, Haresh. I'm not getting rid of the ice horn. I already know that. Let's see the white fang. No, that's fucking garbage. Either I just got the OP drops early, or I just have a very specific way that I'm playing through this game and nothing else is catching my eye, which is very possible. But no, none of this is good. So let's just wrap this up by throwing some jewels. Again, we'll go through the motions. We'll start with, learning magic. We'll give it to Lufern because she is the one who's really going to be my heavy hitter with magic here. And she has a lesion. Woohoo. Oops. Did not mean to hop on out of that. You know what? I guess, Olivier, let's just give this one to you as well. Haresh, don't be sad. I'm not going to ignore you, I promise. So anyway, this Brad guy, he fucking comes out and totally ignores me. And I'm not sure if it's because I was a woman and he just felt like I'm not the one who's going to be making any decisions about the vehicle. But hey, interesting little stat that a different car dealer shared with me, and that's its own story that I'll share in the next episode. I actually found out that this Brad guy had been fired from a different dealership because he has a history of being just an aloof asshole. So weird, you guys. Like, I don't even know why these things happen to me and how I get stuck meeting these douchebags first. But anyway, at a different dealership, when I was talking to this person about this Brad guy, he was telling me, like, actually a recent stat, at least for this area, is that 81% or 80%, something like that, of vehicle purchases here, the decision is made by the wife or the woman or the girlfriend or whatever. It's not usually the husband / the man. So I thought that was really interesting. And this other guy I was talking to, he was like, the fact that this Brad guy just greeted your husband, didn't even acknowledge you, even if you were just a sister or just a friend, like, why wouldn't you greet the whole party? Because that's still another person that could later be another sale. It just made no sense. So this Brad guy was just total piece of shit. And it wasn't until like 5 minutes later when we got to the first car that I actually said, I was like, actually, Brad, I'm the one with the money. I'm the one who could buy almost any car on this lot in cash. And now I'm not going to make that choice because you didn't respect me enough as a human being to even acknowledge my existence. Like, you didn't even ask my fucking name. Like, he didn't even look at me. And then he was like, well, what is your name? Like, well, I didn't realize you were the one buying the car. And it's like, fuck you. And yes, you guys, I am the crazy person who immediately when we got home, I emailed their sales line. And I'm sure they just put it in the trash and they were like, we don't care. We're going to make money because someone's always going to need a car. And there are only so many dealerships in this area. Someone's going to buy from them. Like, I am one person and it's not going to be that big of a deal. I know they don't fucking care, but it still felt so good to let them know. And I know someone at least read it and they know that Brad's a piece of shit. And I know that others know he's a piece of shit because a different dealer told me that Brad used to work for them and they knew who I was talking about when I was telling them about the situation. So that is sales guy number 1, total asshole. And I'm not the first person to cry misogyny or like racism, but I really feel like one of those two situations is what was going on, because why the fuck would you not even look at me, you piece of shit? I'm still so mad about it. Like, oh my God, it just drives me nuts. And this happened days ago, so I need to let it go, you guys. But anyway, salt aside, let's go ahead and call this an episode. And when we resume in video number 35, we're going to head onto the 7th floor. We might be having another double dipper where we're tackling another 2 floors. I just feel like the enemies have not been posing too much of a challenge and we've just been breezing on through. So we'll see what awaits us. I can't really predict it, but if we're lucky, this will be the floor that has a boss or mini boss or something for us, because I'm snoozing on these foes here, y'all. So anyhow, my name is Rabbit. This is my semi-blind run through Eternal Eyes on the PlayStation 1, and you guys already know I'm so happy to have you guys here along for the ride to listen to my inane ramblings, and I'm just so happy to have you guys here with me. Always, always, always. So take care, be good, and I will catch up with you guys here in just a moment in video number 35.